Hey everybody, welcome to the video. I hope you enjoyed that performance of Bitsch's fourth Etude. As always, this series for me, this Bitsch series, is about trying to challenge myself to play these really hard, at least hard for me, etudes, and to sort of share with you what they sound like for me, to really try to prepare them and present them at a high level. When I first started the series, I was thinking to myself, I would try to prepare them and then maybe touch up some missed notes here and there, but that takes effort that I don't want to put into it. And so rather than editing this slightly and trying to decide which things I'm going to edit and which things I'm not, I've actually just decided I'm going to do one take of the whole thing. So from now on, Bitsch 4 through all the rest of the book will be one take, just to do the best that I possibly can in that regard. To try to provide some value in how you might be able to take some of the lessons I learned from working on this etude and apply them to your own practice. Probably the most difficult part about this etude are the intervals and the amount of ear training that's required to be able to successfully complete them, I guess. Ear training is an essential part of being successful on the trumpet, probably on other instruments too, but I can only speak for my experiences on the trumpet. And you don't necessarily need years of aural skills training in music school, although that can be helpful. So I'd like to share with you a few things that I find to be helpful in my practice to help sort of dial in what the notes are, how to get it in my ear so that when I'm playing, I can sort of listen ahead, so to speak, to what's coming rather than just reacting to what's going on. In this video, we're just gonna cover 3 possibilities of ways that you can develop your ear. The first one will be singing, the next one will be buzzing the mouthpiece, and the third one will be slow, slurred playing. Let's get into the video. First up, we have singing, and I would say singing is one of, if not the most effective methods for developing your ear and how accurate it can be. The reason I think it's so effective for developing your ear is that there are no barriers between your ear and what's coming out of your mouth. So on the trumpet, my technical ability might be a limiting factor for me to be able to hear something and let it flow out. When you're singing, ideally speaking, there are none of these barriers, and so we're more likely to be able to hear how good our ear training is, I guess. Now, most of us, myself included, probably don't have a good enough voice to feel like this will be a useful tool, but regardless, it's worth experimenting and exploring how effective it can be, especially if we commit to actually trying to improve it. I would say in general, simpler music will be the way to start developing this. Something like a Rochu or a Bordoni etude for trumpet players. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. There's my imperfect version of singing one of the early Bordonis, and although it's, again, the quality of my voice may not be something people would pay for, but hopefully you can hear that the pitches are pretty close, and this is of use to me because when I'm playing that on the trumpet, I'm able to hear those pitches and possibly even hear them in advance of playing them to help guide where I'm going to go on the trumpet. Being guided where I'm going to go is going to dramatically increase the accuracy with which I play. Now, if we try to apply this to the Bitsch that I just played, this is going to be the result. So you can hear it's just a little bit less accurate than the Bordoni that I sang, but hopefully you can still hear there's value in knowing where I'm headed, kind of what the intervals that I'm playing are. So sometimes I tend to overshoot an interval or undershoot or something like that. This helps me get a sense of where I'm going and how far away it is and the general pitch area that I'm working with. All right, so next up we have mouthpiece buzzing. Now, similar to singing, it's a very effective tool to use because there are no barriers. What we're buzzing on the mouthpiece, there's no trumpet involved or anything like that, so what we hear in our ear will come out of the mouthpiece. Part of the problem is it takes a little bit to get used to mouthpiece buzzing, and for something like the Bitsch, you might have range considerations that make it sort of impossible, I suppose, to play. But nonetheless, it's a valuable tool that you might want to try out for yourself. An easy way to start doing this is just 5-note scales. So there's my version of the 5-note scales right now. It's not something I practice all the time anymore, but when I was younger, I practiced it all the time. I find that in general, mouthpiece buzzing can help focus in your sound, but it also, again, can really help dial in your ear, because if you're not following your ear, the pitch will sag, you might lose the pitch center, things like that. It can also be effective to do this with a piano when you start, so you can help ground your ear with some true actual pitches and then following it on the mouthpiece. So bringing that into something like the Bitsch, I would say that although it can be useful, it's not something that I would immediately go to, just because, again, it's going to be really difficult to find all these pitches, but I'm going to give it a try for this video. This is what it might sound like for me to buzz Bitsch number 4. So not incredible. And again, it probably wouldn't be a useful tool for something like this on the Bitsch, but I would say in general, it can be a useful tool on simpler things to help get your ear dialed in to your playing. And finally, we're coming to the third thing, which is to slowly slur things in your music. This is something that I would go to 99% of the time, because I find it to be not only an effective way to hear the pitches, but you're also playing the trumpet. So you're ideally ingraining good habits along the way. And so you're sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Or as Ricky would say, getting 2 birds stoned at once. This is no secret what I'm going to talk about here. I don't really need to demonstrate it, but I will. We're just really, really slowly slurring everything, making sure we're in the exact center of the pitch to the best of our ability, and trying to gradually progress to being in the center of the pitch more and more often. Once that happens, we know where we're going to aim. We kind of know what our air needs to do. And it's just, for me, again, one of the most valuable and often used tools in my arsenal. Here's what some of the difficult sections of this etude would sound like slurred very slowly. To finish out this video, I did want to say very quickly that singing, buzzing, slurring slowly, these are all really important and valuable tools to add into our practice to be able to help develop our ear training. But the point is to develop the ear training. And so it's an encouragement not to get lost in I have to always buzz, or I always have to sing, or I always have to do a certain thing, but rather these are tools we can use to apply to different situations depending on the music, depending on our own level, and depending on possibly what we have noticed that works for us. What works for one person might not work for you, but it's worth trying all of the different strategies that people have suggested doing, because if they found it to be effective, maybe it'll be effective for you too. If you're struggling with consistency or missing notes in your own practice, try one of these methods. If your ear is your limiting factor in your trumpet playing or your music making, this might be just the thing you need to start seeing some of that improvement that you're hoping to see. All right, everybody, that's going to be all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and make sure to comment below if you have content that you want me to cover on this channel. I'd love to hear from you so I can make videos that you want to see. If you have any trumpet-related questions and you want to reach out to take a lesson or something like that, we can definitely do that. Or if you want to become a client of mine to work on increasing and improving practice habits through organization and trying to make sure that we are setting ourselves up for long-term progress, I'll leave a link down below for a free 30-minute discovery call where we can chat about however I can help you to the best of my ability. I'd love to speak to you, so if you want to chat, sign up. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Always remember, stay strong, be kind to yourself, never stop growing, and we'll see you in the next video.